Cycling is great exercise. Cycling to the dog park is even better. My husband and I, we love cycling, and we wanted an option where we can bring our dogs with us along for the ride. Now, there are many options out there. There are front baskets that hang in front of your bike like we've got right here. There are baskets that hold on top of your bike rack just behind your wheel. There are trailers, just like the ones for kids, that are made specifically for dogs, which I would suggest if you have a medium to large dog. And another option I've seen are also seats that actually sit on your crossbar. Now, although these baskets are different, they both come from the same company called Solvit.
We got this bag for Arthur 5 years ago when we were preparing for her arrival. It's been great and really handy. It came flat packed with both the basket and the mount.
So let me remove the basket and I'll show you how it attaches. So the basket just lifts off and attaches to this mounting bracket. This bracket here is actually the second version I received. The first one that I got with the basket itself was actually lost when my bike was stolen. It was actually this supporting brace here was a very thin plastic and bent quite easily. But the replacement one is actually much better. The brace is actually much stronger, has a bolt to keep it at the right length, and it's much firmer plastic. I've also added these zip ties to keep it attached, because otherwise I felt it slipped off quite easily. At the handlebars itself, it just screws on, and I've added a bit of electrical tape just to make that a nice snug fit. The frame here itself is quite a firm metal, and it holds on quite nicely. It slips into this little pocket on the back of the bag, like so, and then these straps can wrap around your handlebars. Make sure you clear of your brakes and your gearing. Attach and secure on both sides. Like so. And we're done.
Now this bike has a number of features which I will now explain to you. Starting on my right, we have a mesh pocket for which I have a water bottle for the dogs. We have a small zippered pocket which I keep a bike lock and often my wallet and keys. In the front there's another large pocket the entire width, the buckle of which is actually broken, but it still works for what we need. It has dog bags. I usually keep treats in there, and a shoulder strap. This shoulder strap can attach on the sides like this. 1, 2, such that when you take it off, you can then use it to carry your dog like a dog carry bag. On the left-hand side, we have a large zippered section, which I usually keep in a lead or a jacket or just other miscellaneous items. On the inside, I have a blanket just for a bit of added comfort and warmth. There is you can't see it, but there is a collar hook, which I've had to add an extender cable on and attach to Arthur's harness here. And I always use a harness and not just the collar, because Arthur has jumped out before and been hanging by her harness, and when that happened we were quite happy that it was attached to a harness and not her collar. The final feature is, the final feature we have is this sunshade.
The sunshade is easily removable and easy to put on as well. You install it by placing the legs in special pockets that exist on the front and back, both here and on the back, on both sides, and just push them until you adjust it to the right height. To install, you just pull it out, and then this bag actually has a neat feature is that you can wrap it up and pull out the bottom of the case and store it underneath, which means whenever you're riding you always have it available when you need it.
Lastly, this basket is only rated to hold around 11 pounds. Arthur's quite a bit heavier than that, she's more like 14 pounds, but we haven't had any issues, and that's good because we didn't actually find a dog basket front mounted like this that would hold more than that. Overall, I would give this basket a rating of a 4 and would recommend it to any cyclists out there.
So when we were getting Audrey, we were looking for a different basket for mine. And when we did our research, we actually found that Solvit made this new wicker version of their baskets, which I liked better because it matches my bike, and I'm a girl. I like things that looks nice. Yes. So when we got this basket, the little faux fur lining here was separate, and we had to put it on using these little fake faux leather straps. It was a bit tricky because the holes in the fur and the holes on the wicker basket didn't really quite match so well, but once it's on you don't really have to remove it anymore. Another thing we added, though, we had to do is because it's wicker, the wind actually goes through really easy, which makes it really cold for poor little Audrey on a slightly chiller day if it's windy. So we actually added a bit of plastic here just to cut the wind that we've added in between the faux fur and the wicker basket. So this came with a slightly different mount than David's. Let me remove this basket and show you the bracket that it comes with. So just unclip it on each side here and pull it out. So this is the bracket that comes with it. We bought this basket a few years after David's, so the bracket that comes with it is actually better than it used to be. Here on the side, the little mount is actually bigger, wider, and stronger than the one that David has. Also here it's actually screwed on as opposed to just resting on this bit here with the loop, and so I'm quite happy with that. So also on my basket it's slightly different. As you can see, it's actually a plastic bit that is screwed on my wicker basket, unlike David's, which is just a piece of material that has been added to the back. So we'll just slide that on here to the bracket, and also on the sides here, different to David's, it's just a little hook that you put on the basket here, tie it up here, and same thing on the other side, and that's how you put the basket on the bike. My basket has less features than David's one. David has all these nice pockets, and it's also better because it's material made, which means that the wind doesn't go through. Unlike mine, as I said, I had to put a little bit of plastic, but I'm a girl and I really cared more about the fact that it looked nicer than with my bike than having all these little gadgety things. So what it does have though is it does have a sunshade, which, as you can see, unlike David's one, it's not adjustable, so it's really short for Audrey, so he can't really sit up straight completely on it. Also, David's one's made out of material, which means that he can actually use it to block a bit of rain if ever it starts raining while we're cycling. Unlike this one, because it's wicker made, it's got all these holes and the water will go through it. Also, the other thing about this sunshade is that it's not foldable. It's really just like this. It sits on top, which is really easier to install because you just have to drop it on, but it also means that I have to decide before leaving the house whether I'm going to use it or not. Unlike David, who can just bring it with him and put it on later. Now obviously you can't see, but this one also has the safety hook, which you attach to the harness, and I can't stress this enough, never ever attach a safety hook on a collar. Once when I first brought Audrey on the bike basket, he decided to climb out as I was riding, and he ended up right on the edge here by the time I stopped, and thankfully he was hanging from the harness, so he was crying from the pain from being held by his legs, which I much prefer than having my poor puppy dead from hanging from his collar. So please use a harness. And then last but not least, the other option we've got is a shoulder strap. This one's a bit nicer than David's one. It's adjustable, and it's full leather, and it's got this nice padding which David doesn't have on his, and can be attached on here. This basket actually has little handles on the side that are actually hand width, and then you just tie this up on this side, and it goes here on this side as well, which can then be used as a carry bag. And we've also added a little blanket in here for Audrey's comfort, so he's not as cold, because he tends to be more cold than Arthur when riding. I really love this basket, and it looks better, but because David's basket has more option, is a bit more practical, I'm giving this basket a rating of 3.5. If you've enjoyed watching this review, please watch my other reviews and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.